What's up, everybody? This is Jarrett from Bowling for Soup, and you're listening to Upside Down Shark Radio. Nothing worse than an upside down shark, except an upside down shark on the radio.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 47 of Upside Down Shark Radio. I am one of your hosts, Craig. Please excuse the shirt. I do like Curtis Axel, but this is just like a shirt I put on when I go to work, a rubbishy shirt sort of thing.
When he goes to work for the WWE as a wrestler.
Definitely. Yeah, and then I rip it off. It really makes me sad when wrestlers do that, actually, because, you know, they cost quite a few dollars, didn't they, those shirts, and they're just ripping them off. I'm joined by everyone's favourite young boy, supple man, Tom Baker.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Great to be back.
Great to be back.
I mean, we were here last week.
Great to be back this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your ears, on video, in person.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've been on camera in a very long time. So while we are here in 3D, it's not quite 3D, but
whoa,
as near as 3D as we're ever going to get. Craig, what is Upside Down Shark Radio?
The premier pop culture podcast.
Flawless.
Do you want me to go on?
Yeah, keep going.
We talk about pop culture, like The Simpsons, Disenchanted, comic books, Batman, Dragon Ball, wrestling, films, music. Have I missed anything?
No, that's all the cool things. Basically, if it's a cool thing, we'll talk about it. Just think of this as an extension of just sitting on the couch with your bros, drinking a cold one, cracking a cold one open with the boys, and
cracking over some Steve Weisers.
Some Steve Weisers on the way to the, what is it? SmackDown Hotel. Yeah.
You jabroni.
It's basically Wayne's World for the modern man.
Yes. Party on, Tom.
Party on, Wayne.
Wayne's World, party time. Excellent. The second one wasn't as good as the first one, but no. I think I'd still watch a third one.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. I'd definitely watch another one.
And where can people find us?
They can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Castbox, TuneIn Radio, wherever good podcasts can be found. We are there too, mingling with the best, slumming with the worst, but, you know, I'd like to think we're somewhere in the middle. You can also see our beautiful faces on YouTube, where we interview famous people like Frank Turner, Bowling for Soup, Mega Ran, and other people probably in future. We got to future-proof ourselves a little bit, so there we go.
I can't wait to interview Ace of Base.
Oh, God. That is an inside joke that bears not repeating. You can also find all our social links at upsidedownshark.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff. Have a chat if you want to be on the show. Find all the links there. And without further ado, should we get on with the show?
Let's get on with the show. So many things this week. We didn't do what we were going to cover. We didn't do the little...
Wow. Well, let's just keep it a mystery and go in with topic one.
Topic one. I think we're going to... If we're talking about popular culture, should we talk about Brie Larson?
I think that's a good place to start.
Do you reckon if she sets fire to something and gets prosecuted, does she commit Brie larceny?
Well, larceny isn't the same as arson, for one thing. So, how long have you had that in the tank?
I like Brie Larson as well.
I honestly don't think I've seen her in anything other than
Kong Island.
Is she in that?
She's the main
I have forgotten everything about that film.
Okay. It's a good Kong film.
I really have a soft spot for the Peter Jackson one. I thought that one was actually pretty good.
You're a big Jack Black fan, that's why.
Yes, true. It was about an hour and a half too long, but aside from that, it was pretty good.
Because it's weird, because she doesn't strike me as someone who's a big comic book fan. Like, she's not nerdy or anything. I could be completely wrong.
I mean, I thought that the same about you, but clearly you proved me wrong.
Axelmania, baby.
I didn't know you were a nerd at all.
And then you saw my Dragon Ball Super Uno cards.
What?
I'll show you them afterwards.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, Brie Larson, it seems like she's got a lot of weight on her shoulders with this whole Thanos thing going on, and she and her film is a pivotal points in the future of the Marvel franchise. And we got our first look at some of the photos from that set of Captain Marvel. I need to stop talking because I don't think I can say any more words.
Oh, okay. Well, you have your little stroke there. Yeah, they have released the first few images from the film in Entertainment Weekly this week just gone, including shots of Brie Larson as Captain Marvel in full costume. Looks amazing.
Let's put it right there. Are we going to insert stuff?
I mean, if you want to edit this, be my guest.
God.
And we saw some images of the Skrull, which you think look a bit dodgy, but I think look pretty good.
Oh, yeah, the weird Doctor Who looking villains.
Well, that's what you described them as.
Are they different? They're different aliens to the ones we've seen before, right?
Yeah, that's the Kree, which is Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy.
But Ronan is in this Captain Marvel film, though, isn't he?
Yes, he is, because this is set in the 90s as far as I'm aware.
Yes.
So
I hope Ronan is more memorable than he was in Guardians 1.
He wasn't a terrible villain. He was
He was
he's a little vanilla.
One note. He was just annoyed at everyone for no reason.
I mean, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Jude Law was in some of those photos as well, wasn't he?
Yes, he is. Yep,
Yeah.
Jude Law is my boy. Jude Law getting some work. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably one of the last major actors not to feature in the MCU, so you got to tick him off the list. Next, it'll be Hugh Grant and the other one.
The other one.
Colin Firth.
Oh, you're just thinking very British men now.
Yeah, just British rom-com stalwarts.
The Brie Larson photo, she's not smiling.
Is she not?
No, she's not. Which led me to a very funny Twitter conversation where she said these photos, when they get released, are going to break the internet. And they were released, and someone commented, "They're not going to break the internet. She could barely break a smile."
Wait, did you put that, or did someone else put that?
No, someone else put that.
I was going to say.
I like Brie Larson. I'm sure you could take any photo out of context and, make it bad. But yeah, I'm interested anyway. It feel like these tidbits just came out of nowhere for no real reason. But what can you do?
It's strange. I'm really looking forward to it though, because as you say, it is kind of the conduit between the MCU as it is now and where it will go with Avengers 4. The fact that it's set in the 90s as well is very interesting, because I believe Coulson and Fury are coming back in a big way in this one as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
Nick Fury is going to have 2 eyes.
Yep.
Probably not by the end of it. And Coulson, we haven't seen him since the first Avengers, unless you've been watching the very boring TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I have definitely not been watching that.
I still have not seen episodes in ages. And so what I reckon, so let's what we reckon. Captain Marvel's going to be its own standalone thing. And then near the end, it'll be a bit like Captain America, where he gets frozen, leading into the future bit. Do you reckon that's a good shout?
Yeah, that sounds feasible.
Or like it's just like there's going to be nothing to do with Avengers 4, is there? Like, or just a little snippet at the end or a teaser, like they did with Ant-Man. There's not going to be anything serious.
I think it will have more of a effect, and it'll be more significant in that regard than Ant-Man. Ant-Man, I think, I really enjoyed Ant-Man, but it was essentially a palate cleanser after Avengers. It had no real knock-on effect to the wider universe, except for that post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in that regard, it was a very well done film.
I think that's a good thing, though.
I agree.
Doesn't have to
I agree.
Always,
I think it was for what it was as a self-contained film. It was fantastic. Having said that, I do believe that Captain Marvel will have a lot more of an impact on events leading into Avengers.
I think we will see. They won't show Fury sending the signal, but she'll have a device, her pager or something. Like it will come up with his logo or something back, and then she has to go. Is it through reality or like through space or whatever?
Odds on the pager just being mother effer.
That'd be funny.
That would be pretty funny.
But and then it's probably just going to be a throwaway line or something, but we have to explain how she survived the snap door or anything like that. Like she time travel or something stupid like that.
Well, she might just been the 50% that survived. Like not everyone disappeared.
That's true. Apparently, because Ant-Man was subatomic, that's how he survived. So
okay.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously that is how they're going to bring everyone back, isn't it? It's these healing particles that are in the quantum realm. That's definitely going to play into Avengers.
You think?
I absolutely. That was what that whole scene was setting up, was collecting these healing particles or healing things.
Your boy Craig's thinking time travel.
You think? I
Yeah.
think there will be an element of time travel, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll have everything. I reckon it is just going to be one big cluster, like in the best possible way. But everything is going to be thrown into this film.
Yeah, like you think Avengers 3, like because of all the Thanos like build up, and then this. I knew it was going to be 2 parts, and now this second part to the biggest build up ever. It's got to bring it, hasn't it? And also the end for that film has got to set up what they're doing next as well. So
well, that's the thing. I think this film has more pressure on it than Infinity War, because the legacy of Infinity War. Because at the moment, I would say that Infinity War as a standalone film is probably up there with the top, if not the best MCU film made so far. That legacy could be absolutely destroyed if Avengers 4 is awful and it doesn't have a satisfying conclusion leading on from Infinity War. So yeah, I mean I have faith because it's the Russo brothers again, and they've knocked it out the park whenever they've been in charge of a Marvel property or Arrested Development episode for that matter. And yeah, so I genuinely believe it could be the best film, but if it's not, oh boy howdy, that's going to be a bit of a wet fart.
We'll just have to wait and see. We're definitely going to talk about Avengers 4.
It will give us content for like a year and a half.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about it in the future.
I mean, it could very well be the last time that we see Dave Bautista as Drax. So
yeah, they're doing reshoots, and like some people have commented, it's because the Guardians now is in like a sort of development. You know,
hell.
I wouldn't say it's not in hell yet.
Well, it's frozen over.
They lost the director, writer, and now they have to get someone else on board. Like Ant-Man was in hell, wasn't it?
But they've lost the morale and the support of the cast as well, which is a huge issue.
So, like, if they, like, to say, possibly, Guardians 3 apparently was going to play a big part in the next stage, but if they don't have a writer to get it done by the time they need it, they would do reshoots for Avengers 4 so that it probably doesn't have as big a tip.
Kills off all the Guardians.
I was looking forward to seeing Tony Stark in space with the Guardians. I thought that could be funny, you know, seeing Mr. Lord and Iron Man together. But we shall have to wait and see, won't we?
With bated breath.
Jason Bateman breath, talking of Arrested Development, like he was. What do you want to talk about another topic now, or shall we go to track of the week?
Let's talk about one more thing.
Okay. Do you want to say the one more thing, or should I say the one more thing?
You say the one more thing, because I definitely have things that I can think of. I just can't think of them at the moment.
Okay. I mean, I know what I'm thinking of, Craig. Why don't you guess?
Yeah.
I will... Should we talk about the Simpsons thing?
Yes, because this is something that you brought up just before the show, which blew my mind and has...
Would you be able to type it in to get me? Because I know what it is. I'm just making sure. So basically, one of the old showrunners did a tweet, as they were a tweet or some social media, whatever, and they were going through an old episode, and it's the episode where they say there's no photos of Maggie. And in this episode, there is a picture of Marge pregnant, as Homer is explaining he doesn't want to go back to the Nucleon plant. And right in the background, there is a photo of Maggie in her, you know, just that photo of Maggie that everyone knows with her arms out. And it's definitely Maggie. And it's a continuity error, but some people are arguing against it and saying it's Lisa and stuff like that. Tom, what's your take?
I think, just reading the research now, that this is just an oversight on the part of the animators, because Al Jean, I believe he's one of the show's executive producers, put canon is in ruins, and then used the Simpsons gif of the Krusty the Clown writer, no, the Itchy and Scratchy writer saying, boy, I really hope someone got fired for that blunder. And yeah, it's It's just like a nice little nugget for the super fans to laugh at, whereas the Simpsons writers sit on their trillions and trillions of dollars. But I mean, less fantasy book. What actually does this mean?
Does it look funny on the camera? It does, doesn't it? That's funny.
Demonetized. Does that mean that there is a conspiracy theory? Does Maggie not actually exist? Is Marge pregnant with someone else's child? Is there an alternative timeline which Marge has come from where she gives birth to Homer?
You have joined us for our new video series, Clickbait with Tom Baker, where he will just ask all these questions, the most quizzical look and a question mark in the thumbnail. Yeah, it's probably just an oversight from the animators.
Yeah, probably, but I like to believe that there is actually two Maggies.
There is there's been lots of Simpsons news though, hasn't there? Like it's been week after week after week. We got they're making the Family Guy and Simpsons movie sequel. And then they released Disenchanted. What? Did you not know about
Simpsons
this?
Family Guy movie?
No, there's going to be a Simpsons sequel and a Family Guy sequel, like separate.
Right.
There's already been a Family Guy.
I was going to be
film
like, yeah, they did the episode. It was okay.
I liked it.
It was all right.
Yeah, it's probably one of my. It's up there for classic Simpsons in this age because it gets all the Simpsons references right, and it's Family Guy's right too. So they announced they were going to do sequels to those films, and then Disenchantment came out last week. Matt Groening finally revealed it was Michael Jackson in that Michael Jackson episode.
Duh. Except for the singing voice, which is hilarious.
Lisa, it's your birthday.
No, the actual voice of where it sounds like Michael Jackson is a Michael Jackson impersonator.
That's funny.
But the talking voice is Michael Jackson.
That's good. And everyone just liked it when I started talking like this. So the Simpsons aren't dead yet.
Not by a long shot.
I will probably go and see the second film on the first day, like I did with the first film.
I will see it like 3 or 4 times, like I saw the first one in cinema. But yeah, we talk about Simpsons a lot. Maybe we should do a Simpsons exclusive podcast.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe call it All About Simpsons or whatever we're going to call it.
Maybe we should talk about upcoming content after we finish the episode and make a plan for year 2 of Upside Down Shark.
Oh, year 2. Exciting times. Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a track of the week. Take it away.
We really needed a graphic for that.
Track of the week.
Track of the week.
Put that mic near you. Go on, you can do it.
What?
There you go. Put the mic near your lips. Get in.
The turn of the lips. Anyway, track of the week is Worry Lines by Darker Days. These are a band formed by former members of the band Energy, who, if anyone is into the goth punk scene, like myself, then you'll know all about Energy, and you'll know that Darker Days are just as good. So this is off some release, probably. I don't know. I'm really good at this stuff. No, it's just a new single. It's been released a couple of weeks, but we're going to give it a spin now. So without further ado, here is Worry Lines by Darker Days. Check it out.
Frank Turner, and you are lucky enough to be listening to Upside Down Shark Radio.
And that was Darker Days with Worry Lines. Make sure to check them out at their website, which is www.darker-days.com. Check them out.
They look like people I would enjoy going on a bar crawl with. And there's the cheery one, the bouncer looking type, the one who's going to make jokes about your mum, the one you used to go to school with, and that cousin that you don't really like. But yeah, overall, check it out.
Great bands there.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Thank you. Da, 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 da.
Phenomenal.
Da, 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 da.
Phenomenal.
This is why you come here, folks, for the best pop culture references like that.
What, like Mana?
Da, 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 da.
Phenomenal.
Well, do you know how that started out? I think everyone does at this point, right?
The what?
That song that's in Muppets.
Yeah, what about
the
it?
songwriter, you know what he used to do before Muppets?
What?
He used to write music for porn.
Really?
Yes.
Demonetized.
Really? Just for saying that?
Probably.
Okay.
I just like saying demonetized.
Okay. Demonetized!
Graphic.
But obviously, if he's making songs like Phenomena, I don't think he's doing very well as a porn music writer, so
I mean,
that's why, obviously,
you could probably use that track on some weird, like, retro 70s porn.
Okay, well, with funny mustaches.
Yeah, just like Mana.
If I had a production company, Funny Mustaches, that's a good production company name.
A pastel brown production.
Brown Noise Productions, if you're going into music. There you go. Have you been up to much in terms of consuming?
Consuming? That is a good question.
Have you finished Enchantment yet? So we're a bit late on this because Enchantment came out.
Disenchantment.
Yep, that's what I said. Yep. No, I was...
Isn't it Disenchanted?
No, I was thinking about a Disney film. Enchantment.
Enchanted.
Whatever.
Look, a dog.
Oh, look, a dog. Hello, dog. Hello, doggy.
Hi, doggy. Not really. I mean, to be honest, if we break the kayfabe that we record this on the day that we put it out...
We can't break that because we were going to talk about Spider-Man, but you've ruined that now.
It's only been about 3 days since we talked last, and I've got to be honest, I'm still all in on the all-in hype. So...
What, so you watched it and you're still just buzzed about it?
Yeah, because...
But then what, did you watch it again? Like, I'm confused.
The Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes internet series, being the Elite, dropped the day after, 2 days after, and that had all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and it was like a 40-minute episode of just, you all right?
I'm helping you get rid of your laptop so it doesn't get covered in dog hairs.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, it's just all the behind-the-scenes stuff of setting up a show like that, from all the convention stuff going on beforehand and around it, to all of the production and everything. It's just insane, and it's so fascinating. So, yeah, I've just been really gushing over that. In terms of video games, I haven't really had a chance to play anything other than my beloved Jurassic World Alive, which is just a time sink. Aside from that, I'm afraid I've been a boring old sod. What about you, my good friend?
I've been playing that game of Overtime.
I've never heard of that. Oh, as in like legitimate overtime at work.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Oh, real life sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Especially when, when you're just like, you've got a project you need to do. Yeah, I'm going to say project. I've got a project you need to do. And you're just like, I'm not going to be able to finish this if I keep, just going at my normal pace in my normal hours. And you're just like, I'm going to have to crunch this a bit. It gets to you a little bit, doesn't it?
The grind does. It can wear you out sometimes. You can get burnt out pretty easy doing the things like that, especially when you've got really strict deadlines, too much to do, and people not really understanding what's feasible and what's possible in the working day. But
let's not keep going on about how vague we are. It makes there's just as a civilization now. Maybe it's not even maybe just the current economy. There's less people because companies want more people to do more jobs, really.
Well, people love money, don't they?
Yes. So, and how do you make more money? Have less people to pay. So there you go.
Well, that's it. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't our full-time jobs. We don't make enough money from Upside Down Shark to support 2 livelihoods. In fact, you'll be staggered to believe we don't make any money from this at all. Not one penny.
Financial boondoggle.
Yeah.
Boondoggle is a good word for this.
That is a fantastic word. I want that as a graphic. Just boondoggle flashes up on the screen.
Boondoggle Productions presents. But then obviously, as we do our jobs, which are full-time, sometimes you need to work longer than full-time, and it's harder to make fabulous content like this for people who watch and listen. So it has an impact on that as well. So it's just the snake sort of thing. Work-life balance is very annoying, especially when you've had a stroke and everyone tells you to take it easy and you're just like, that stroke was fine, leave me alone. What about your leg? Don't worry about the leg either, right? I'm still here in one piece, just about. So when I haven't been playing overtime, as I discussed on this week's Craig & Co., I have been dipping into Craig & Co. I've been dipping into Craig & Co. I've been listening to old episodes of myself. I've been watching Game of Thrones from the beginning. Haven't seen it before. Around 4 episodes in.
What do you think?
It's all right. A bit slow. That's about it, really.
Yeah, I got bored of it after series 1, really.
Did you not watch it then?
I made the mistake of trying to read the books and watching the show in tandem. And
why would you do that for anything?
I don't ask me.
That's stupid.
But I read the first 2 books, saw about a series and a half, and then just sort of fell off on all of it.
Okay.
So never really got back into it.
No, that's fair enough.
If I'm honest, I'm more excited about... there's a similar novel series called The Wheel of Time. I've probably harped on about it before. Written about the same time, not quite as R-rated as Game of Thrones, but I think the more interesting characters, less characters, still like a rich, deep lore, but there's only a very small handful of main characters, which means it's easier to relate and start to form attachments.
Wheel of Time!
Precisely. And I know that Sony have picked up the rights to make it into a series, and I'm really excited to see whether or not that gets made. They did make a pilot episode of trying to get a series off the ground back in, I think it was the early 2000s, with Billy Zane, of all people, being one of the main characters.
The Zane way.
And it's not great. And
you want better?
I would prefer better. So I'm hoping that they manage to get something off the ground and it's not a Game of Thrones clone.
Game of Clones is a Futurama game for mobile.
That reminds me, where I work, we've got a new office building that we've just moved into, and one of the big achievements so far as a team is working out what to call our printer on the Wi-Fi network. Choices so far, one of them obviously Game of Tones. There's also Print Eastwood, Printin' Tarantona, Alan Cartridge.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Half-Page Prince, 50 sheets per tray instead of 50 Shades of Grey. I think that was the peak of it.
I do enjoy a good pun.
The artist formerly known as Prince. And then there was some more abstract ones like, are you CMYOK, hun? And I think that's about what that... Oh, and Cyan says.
My vote goes for the Quentin, whatever that one was.
That was where my vote went to, but it went with Alan Cartridge in the end because people
suck. That's boring. What?
This is why democracy is a fallacy.
That bloody... Just take the phallus and rename the printer.
Yeah. Printin' Tarantona.
Talking of mystical beasts as we were, I finished Disenchanted. It ends on quite a cliffhanger. And I'm interested to see where part 2 goes because season 1 is part 1 and then they're going to do season 2. It's all right. It's easy watching. People said it wasn't as good but as we have discussed, season 1 is always trying to find your footing and things like that.
We had really good feedback on that episode with comparing the Simpsons series 1 to Disenchanted. The two comments that we had was, this is the worst.
Okay.
And one which I had to Google Translate. I believe the word was parod. Not sure what language that is, but it translated to horseradish.
I agree wholeheartedly with both comments.
See, the problem is I don't know if they were talking about Disenchanted or our show. So Make your mind up. Answers on a postcard, please.
Horseradish.
I really want to restart horseradish as like an expletive. Just like if something goes wrong, you just go, oh, for horseradish.
I stubbed my horseradish toe on the table.
This podcast is horseradish.
You're horseradishing me off. Oh, God, that was hard for me to say. And while we're still on Dungeons and Dragons, the Lord of the Rings thing is going to take a couple of years, but Amazon are making that.
It's like $100 million an episode or something, isn't it?
And it's still going to take place in Peter Jackson's world. So, yeah. I like
Peter
Lord of the Rings.
Ejaculation.
Is that what you called your printer?
No.
You can go it tomorrow.
That's what we call the fax machine.
You're just like, I've got it. What a fax machine. Do you have a fax machine?
Of course we don't have a fax machine. It's 2018.
If you want to fax us an Upside Down Shark,
Yeah.
just
Fax us an email at upsideDownSharkRadio@gmail.com.
Aside from that, I am looking forward to Spider-Man because you break the kayfabe. From what I hear, it's got positive reviews. Giant Bomb gave it 4 out of 5. It's good swinging. Apparently, the only thing that good swinging. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna have to start referring to you as a swinger.
I will be next week. We will give you
You're
the lowdown.
doing nothing but swinging.
Apparently the only bad sections is some of the stealth sections as you play as Mary Jane. It's like some old PS1 sort of bad stealth. You knock a bottle over, distract the guard, and try and walk past him.
I see.
Yes, so that's what I've pretty much been looking forward to and doing.
Yeah, I've been looking at some stuff leading up to it as well. I've seen some early press reviews, and they say that obviously it is very, very reminiscent to the gameplay of the Batman Arkham series, which isn't necessarily a bad thing at all, because that is one of the best video game series revolving around a superhero ever. If not, maybe one of the best video game series ever, to be honest. I don't think there's ever been a series which has made you feel quite like a superhero as much as that. But the thing is that Spider-Man has quite a rich history as a video game character anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of the old PS1 Neversoft games were fantastic. Particularly my favourite, personally, was Enter Electro #2. I believe that, I may have mentioned this again on air before, it was the first game that Activision ever made that had explosions in it, and they literally announced it during the scene. It was like a QuickTime thing where you cut away. There's a big explosion in the room, and a voiceover man just goes, "Explosions now in Activision," and literally
very good.
Yeah, fourth wall destroyed. But yeah, even on the PS3, Shattered Dimensions and Web of Shadows were very, very good games. So I will probably pick this up and actually play a video game for the first time in weeks.
We don't really get very many licensed games anymore, and what I heard is like this feels like the Marvel, the MCU. Like it's got that polish to it, and hopefully, like this is the start of like maybe not like a big universe, but it will be. Yeah, I can hear you. We're recording. You could have messaged me.
Craig's dinner's ready, and this is just.
No, like do you want to? How do you want to do this? To edit it?
No, just keep it rolling.
You just want to keep. Okay, great. Okay, I'm recording in my room, Mom. Leave me alone.
When we said we were the Wayne's World of the 2018, we meant it.
Yeah. So hopefully this is good licensed games to come, because they used to be like Bugs Life, Toy Story. Now it's just all mobile games. So hopefully this is a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. It's going to be better than Venom, I can tell you that much already.
Venom...
I have no faith in that film whatsoever.
Faith no more.
Great
Not
band.
even they can save this.
It could be very well in the same dog pile as Suicide Squad. You heard it here first.
Thank you, everyone. And I think that's it for this week, right?
Yeah, I think that wraps it up. Thank you for listening to episode 47 of Upside Down Shark Radio. Make sure to leave a like, comment, review. All that good stuff really helps us out. If you like the show, tell your friends. If you want to be on the show, upsideDownSharkRadio@gmail.com. And without further ado, I have been Tom.
I am Axelmania.
And we will see you next time.